Welcome back to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
So our mission, as you know, is to take these huge stacks of complex information, the research, the standards, all of it.
And try to make sense of it.
Exactly. And distill it into something you can actually use. Today, we're immersing ourselves in a really comprehensive, prevention-focused safety campaign. It's titled Work Safe, Stay Strong, all year long.
And this is a remarkable initiative. It comes from the fire districts of New York Mutual Insurance Company, or FDM, and they worked with Lemoyne College.
Okay.
And while it's very specialized, aimed at fire and EMS personnel, the core ideas about safety, well, they're universal.
That's our goal for you today. We're going to distill the most common and, I think, crucially, the most costly workplace injury drivers that they've identified.
Yeah.
We want you to walk away with the specific data, the standards, and the actual strategies these pros use to stay safe.
And we should probably say right up front, the whole strategy is built on this idea that safety is more than just checking a box.
It's not just compliant.
No, not at all. It's fundamentally about protecting people, maintaining productivity, and just ensuring their long-term health. It's an investment in people's careers.
I think that's the mindset shift that makes this whole thing so interesting. This isn't just some list of do's and don'ts.
No.
It's a full framework. They break the year's risks into 6 core areas: slips, trips, and falls.
With that big winter emphasis.
Then overexertion, lifting and carrying, ergonomics, noise exposure, and finally, heat stress. That's basically our roadmap for this deep dive.
Perfect.
So let's unpack the campaign structure first, because it feels like it was designed perfectly for the learner.
Oh, absolutely. Especially for people with non-traditional schedules. They didn't just throw a giant binder at them. Instead, each topic is its own little 4 to 6 week micro campaign.
That feels very strategic.
It is. They knew that information overload is the enemy, right? Especially for busy shift workers. So the solution was these bite-sized assets.
Checklists, short videos.
Exactly. Visuals, one-pagers. It's about continuous learning, building habits, not just a one-off training day you forget a week later.
And their distribution.
Yeah.
They weren't just relying on, a poster on a bulletin board, right?
No way. They use every channel you can think of: emails, client toolkits, and a really strong social media presence.
Ah, so what was the trick there?
The 50-30-20 rule. It's brilliant. 50% of their content had to be purely educational, something you'd find valuable right away.
Okay.
30% was curated stuff from other expert sources, and only 20% was promotional.
So they build trust first.
Exactly. The feed feels valuable before they ask you to do anything, like download a safety checklist.
So with all that effort going in, how do they actually know if it's working? How do they measure it?
Well, there are the short-term metrics, like engagement rates, how many people download the materials. But the real goal, the long-term metric,
The one that really matters.
is seeing a real statistical drop in the frequency and severity of those 6 types of injuries over time. That's the ultimate proof that it's working.
Okay, let's dive into the material itself. Let's start with the big ones, the high-stakes acute risks. Overexertion.
Right.
They use this slogan here that it really hits home. It says, the call doesn't end when your body is done.
That phrase should hit home because this is where the risk shifts from just a strain to an actual tragedy. The NFPA data on this is, well, it's disturbing. Overexertion or strain accounted for 65% of all firefighter fatalities.
65%. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of firefighter fatalities, you think of a fire, a collapse.
Not a sudden cardiac event after the call is over.
Exactly.
And that's the key point. The injury isn't always some sudden thing on scene. It often builds up over time from fatigue, heat, dehydration. It's cumulative.
So what's the fix? How do they fight that?
The strategies come right out of the NFPA 1584 standard on rehabilitation.
We hear that term rehab all the time, but what does that standard actually, mean in simple terms?
It's 3 things: rest, hydration, and medical monitoring. It's about making task rotation normal, getting crews into rehab early, and the guidance from FEMA and USFA is critical here. The rehab location itself has to be suitable.
Suitable how?
You need a safe place to take off heavy gear, and you need protection from the weather, whether it's sun or snow. It is not just optional downtime, it's a required operational step.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Let's look at another one of those immediate risks: slips, trips, and falls.
Winter classic.
Yeah, big seasonal focus. And the campaign's email subject line is perfect. One step can change everything.
It really can. This accounts for 22% of all fireground injuries. And the guidance here connects practical advice with some really hard technical standards.
Give me an example. How technical were we talking?
Well, they pull from OSHA's rules for walking surfaces, and it's not just keep things clean and dry. The regulation specifies that a change in floor level of just 1/4 of an inch or more.
A quarter inch?
1/4 of an inch is officially a tripping hazard.
That seems so small. I mean, my phone is thicker than that. But then you factor in the environment.
That's it, exactly. You're wearing heavy, clumsy boots. It's probably dark. You're moving fast. The hazard isn't the 1/4 inch. It's the 1/4 inch plus everything else.
Right.
And that same idea extends to the fire trucks. NFPA 1901 requires specific handholds and walking surfaces to promote the 3-point rule.
3 points contact.
Always. 3 of your 4 limbs are in contact with the vehicle when you're getting on or off. It just forces you to slow down for that extra second.
Okay, let's get into the science of effort. Lifting and carrying. A huge cause of lost time everywhere, not just for first responders.
Yep. The poster headline says it all. Lift smart. Protect your back.
So what's the science here?
It's all about biomechanics. The source they use is the NOS Revised Lifting Equation, or RNLE.
Okay.
The goal of that equation is to find the recommended weight limit, the RWL. And under absolutely perfect conditions, perfect grip, no twisting, right at waist height, the max recommended load is 51 pounds.
51 pounds. That sounds incredibly low for a job where you're carrying air packs, tools, maybe a person?
It is low. That's the ideal ceiling. And the key takeaway is that this number drops fast based on 6 different factors.
Like what?
Well, think about it. How far is the load from your body? Are you twisting? Are you lifting it frequently? Bending down low or reaching up high? All of those things slash that 51-pound limit.
So if you're, pulling a heavy tool out of a low compartment on the truck and twisting to put it on the ground.
That 51-pound ideal is long gone. The equation gives you what's called a lifting index, and if it's over 1.0, your risk of injury goes way up.
Which is why the practical advice is all about mechanics.
All about planning and mechanics. What are the key protocols? Plan the lift first. Use mechanical aids-powered cots, stair chairs whenever you can.
If you can't.
Neutral alignment. Hips, knees, ankles, all facing the same direction. You pivot your feet, you don't twist your back. And there's a great number to remember from the USFA. 35 pounds.
35.
That's the threshold for manual patient lifting. If the lift is more than 35 pounds, you should be using a machine or getting more people involved.
Those numbers really put the daily strain in perspective. So if falls and bad lifts are the sudden blows, the next few risks are more like the quiet thieves that can steal a career over time. Let's start with ergonomics.
Right. Ergonomics is just the science of designing the job to fit the worker.
Not the other way around.
Exactly. Everything from the seat in the truck to the computer monitor in the station. The goal is preventing what they call work-related musculoskeletal disorders, or WMSDs.
So chronic back pain, carpal tunnel.
All of that. Tendinitis, the things that build up slowly.
And the sources in the campaign mention a huge return on investment for focusing on this.
They do. A positive ROI and productivity gains up to 140%. And it's important to understand what that means. It's not just avoiding a claim, it's avoiding lost days, keeping a crew fully staffed, and not having to recruit and retrain a replacement.
The cost benefit is pretty clear then.
Yeah.
And the fixes are usually tiny.
That's the campaign's key message. Small adjustments prevent long-term injuries. Adjust your seat, organize your tools so you're not overreaching, and the biggest one, report discomfort early.
Before it becomes a major problem.
Exactly. Because today's sore shoulder is tomorrow's career-ending surgery if you ignore it.
Okay, let's shift to noise exposure. This might be the most insidious one because it happens so slowly.
It's totally cumulative, and the hearing loss is permanent. There's no getting it back. And we have very clear standards here from NIOSH. The recommended exposure limit is 85 dBA over an 8-hour shift.
And for responders, the standard is even stricter, right?
It is. NFPA 1500 says you have to provide hearing protection anytime the noise goes over 90 dBA.
Which happens all the time.
Constantly. Sirens are over 95 dBA. A power saw used for extrication can hit 114 dBA. A few seconds of protection can prevent a lifetime of loss.
All right, let's wrap up the physical risks with heat stress. The campaign gets very dramatic here. The poster headline is, "Heat kills faster than fire."
It's designed to grab your attention because, honestly, it's true. When you're wearing full turnout gear, you're basically in your own portable, hostile environment.
the risk of heat stroke just skyrockets.
It does. So NFPA 1584 mandates rehab for heat stress, and NIOSH says you need to keep a worker's core body temp below 102.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
So what are the two most critical field protocols they highlight to manage that?
First, when you're calculating the heat risk, you have to add a 10-degree adjustment factor if you're in turnout gear. A 90-degree day feels like a 100-degree day to your body.
That's a huge difference.
It is. Second, the IIFF pushes for active cooling, and the fastest way to do that is by submerging your hands and forearms in cool water during rehab. Research shows it's the quickest way to bring that core temperature down.
It's clear all this guidance is incredibly detailed. What's the common thread? Where does all this credibility come from?
It's a unified, evidence-based framework. Everything in this campaign, every single recommendation is backed up by one of three sources: NFPA standards, NUSH research, or IAFF best practices.
So they aren't just making up rules.
Not at all. They're just translating proven scientific standards into practical actions that crews can actually use.
And that really highlights FDM's role here. They're trying to be a proactive partner, not just the company that pays the workers' comp claim after something goes wrong.
Absolutely. They're offering services like free loss control consultations, these deep dive injury reduction studies, and they really push for having certified health and safety officers, HSOs.
Why are they so important?
Because the data shows that having an HSO on staff is essential for compliance and directly reduces how often and how severely people get hurt.
And they're even looking ahead into the high-tech future of safety.
That's the MyBeats Plus FDM pilot project they're launching in 2025. They're using wearable devices to monitor real-time physiological data.
So heart rate, core body temp.
Exactly, heart rate variability. It's moving safety from being reactive, reporting an injury after it happens, to being proactive, biometric. Imagine getting an alert that a firefighter's core temp is rising dangerously before they even feel sick.
That's a total game changer for prevention.
A massive step forward.
You know, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've really pulled out some amazing knowledge nuggets for you today. We've separated those acute, sudden risks, the falls, the strains, the heat, from the quiet, chronic ones like noise and bad ergonomics that build up over a career.
It's a complete 360-degree view.
It is a full picture of safety.
And that strategic cycling of topics throughout the year is what makes it so powerful. Slips and falls in January, heat stress in June, and so on. So as you go about your day, think about that rotation. Which of these 6 risks is the one you're most likely to overlook in your own life?
Is it the sudden one?
Right. Is it the sudden acute risk that you think you're ready for? Or is it the quiet cumulative one, like your posture at your desk or not wearing ear protection, that's slowly stealing from your future? What's the one small, preventative step you can take today to make sure you stay strong for the long haul?